Today in Kat's Vegan Kitchen, we're making the vegan version of a classic vegetable beef stew. When I first started eating plant-based, this seitan-based recipe was one of the first things I learned to make, and it's still a favorite in my kitchen. It is loaded with protein, so those of you looking for high-protein vegan meals, this one's for you. Welcome to Kat's Vegan Kitchen. Let's get started. The ingredients you're going to need for this dish are half an onion, 2 cloves of garlic, 1 or 2 jalapenos, half a red or green pepper, 1 box of seitan, 4 cups of vegetarian beef broth, half a can of fire roasted diced tomatoes, half a head of cauliflower, and potatoes. We're also going to use oregano, fennel, and sage. If you're looking for a list of the ingredients, you can check down in the description box. You'll also find a place to sign up for my newsletter so you never miss a recipe. And remember, if you find value in this recipe, hit that thumbs up button or subscribe. Chop up half of a yellow onion and saute it in just about a tablespoon of avocado oil. If you want this to be oil-free, just use a little bit of vegan beef broth. The onion needs to saute till it's translucent for about 5 to 10 minutes over medium-low heat. I try to keep these videos short and sweet because we're all pressed for time, but I'm just going to show you how I chop up the cauliflower and kale because that's a little bit trickier than the other veggies. For the cauliflower, we want small florets, so I start by breaking it off the stem like that, and some of them will be small enough as it is, but some will need to be chopped up into finer pieces. If you're not a huge fan of cauliflower, broccoli makes an excellent replacement. Kale or greens are an optional ingredient in this recipe, but when you're eating a plant-based diet, you really cannot get enough greens. As a matter of fact, you can't get enough greens in any diet. Kale is loaded with vitamin K, vitamin C, vitamin A, calcium, and it even has iron in it. So this is how you chop kale nice and fine so you barely notice it's there. First of all, make sure you take your leaves off the stem. Now, some people say they don't like kale, but if you chop it really fine with all the other ingredients, no one will ever notice it's there. I roll the leaves and I just chop into the tiniest little pieces of kale. My onion is translucent, so I'm going to add in 2 cloves of garlic, and I'm going to saute that till I can smell it, which is only about 30 seconds. And 1 or 2 diced jalapenos, depending on how much heat you like. A diced red pepper adds lots of vitamin C and a little bit of sweetness. The beef in this recipe is seitan as a super protein-rich meat replacement. You can make your own, but if you're just starting out, I don't advise that because it's very tricky. There are a couple brands I really like. This is one of them. This is Upton's seitan. It's the regular flavor. It's super easy to use because it's already chopped up pretty much into the size pieces I want for my vegetarian beef stew, but sometimes I'll chop them a little bit smaller just so I don't have any big hunks. I'm going to toss my seitan in with my peppers, onions, and garlic, and I'm going to let it saute for just a couple minutes to get those beautiful flavors. Seitan is a great vegan protein source because it's not soy. And even though I'm a big fan of soy for protein, you want to vary your protein sources. After it sautés for about 5 minutes, I'm going to add in the rest of my ingredients. I'm using 1 14-ounce can or half a 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes. I like the ones that are fire roasted. 1/2 a head of chopped cauliflower, 2 small diced red potatoes. Notice I don't take the skins off my potatoes. That's because the skin contains nutrients. Toss that all together in your pan. Look how pretty that looks. Remember, you want lots of different colors because different colors mean different nutrients. This stew is perfect for the winter. It is loaded with vitamin C. This is 4 cups of vegan beef broth. The spices I'm going to put in my beef stew are 1 teaspoon of sage, a teaspoon of oregano, about 3/4 teaspoon of fennel. Now you can adjust the spices. Remember, always taste your food. Notice I didn't add any salt because my beef broth has salt in it. I will adjust the salt at the end. You want to let your beef stew simmer for about 20 minutes, partially covered. My seitan stew has been cooking for about 20 minutes. I checked the potatoes, they're getting soft, It's time to add in my final ingredient, about 2 cups of finely chopped kale. You can replace the kale with spinach or Swiss chard. Going to let this cook down for just a minute or 2. From start to finish, this took me about 30 minutes, and it's a giant batch, so I can have a healthy, nutrient-rich, protein-rich soup all week long. Remember, you do not have to sacrifice your health just because you're busy. I love to top this with my homemade vegan Parmesan cheese and serve it with a side of whole wheat pita bread. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on Kat's Vegan Kitchen. Remember to hit that subscribe button.